Hey everybody, this week I want to talk to you about signs. Last week I talked to you about these two small parables about small things, right? The seed and the yeast in the middle of Matthew chapter 13, where Jesus seems to be trying to help us see that when we can't see or we can't hear what God is doing, that God is at work, that God is up to something. The seed and the yeast. We did it from the Indian caves, remember? And I told you some stories about that we could walk by things and miss them, and we could just miss things all the time that are around us. But this week I want to talk about signs. The things that are visible to us, right? Like a construction sign that are everywhere in Bourbonnais right now, right? That you can't get anywhere. Sometimes they help us know when a bump's coming in the road, where they've removed pavement, or if the lane's going to go from 2 to 1, and to help us navigate that, and some do better at that than others, if I might say. I'm looking across the street at a stop sign or street signs to help us know where we are. Signs, they're all around us to help us on trips. Now, I know you guys don't use signs the way I did when I was your age, because you guys can use apps like the Apple Maps or Waze, which Waze is amazing, isn't it? I remember one time I was driving through Nashville, and the traffic in Nashville is atrocious. And we happened to be driving right through the heart of Nashville at 5 o'clock in the afternoon, which is the absolute worst time. And Waze just took over and helped us navigate through city streets that I'd never been on before in my life, taking me from where we were in a quicker way to get where we wanted to go. Waze is amazing. Couldn't have done it without the app. But I couldn't have gotten around when I was your age without signs, because signs just made travel possible. Now, you still do use signs. I mean, you know, sometimes you're driving down the highway and you see the big red and the green that have gasoline prices on it. You might get on your Gas Buddy app to try and figure out where the cheapest gas is. But I don't do that because I don't want to kill myself when I'm driving. So I look at signs to know where the gas stations are. I look at signs to help me know where we're going to stop and eat. A lot of times you don't have to do that, because if you're on your way home, you know where you're going to go anyways. But signs help us navigate trips, and signs help us navigate life. We read signs all the time, don't we? Red sky at night, sailor's delight. Red sky in the morning, sailor take warning. My dad used to say if it rained and it was hitting puddles in the street and the puddles had bubbles, it was going to rain 3 days in a row. I don't know whether that's an old wives' tale or not, but that's what my dad used to say. He also used to say if it rained on Easter Sunday, it was going to rain sometime on Sunday for 7 weeks. Signs. Signs are all around us. Signs are obvious to us, right? Or can be obvious to us. They help us know where we are, but they also help us know where we're going. So what happens when you don't know? What happens when you don't know where you are and you don't know where you're going? We don't like that at all. I don't know about you. I don't like to make a decision today unless I know what the results will be tomorrow. I want to know where this decision is going to take me tomorrow. But you can't always do that, can you? Seed and yeast, signs. Signs, more obvious to help us. There are times that I've faced difficult moments in my life. Sometimes you don't see the signs until you're already past them, right? You've been through a difficult time, a difficult moment. It's difficult for us to sense that God is there, but then when we get on the other side of it and we look back, we can see that God was with us. See the signs. Well, Jesus was trying to address the fact that people during his day were missing the signs that were all around them. We can ignore them if we want to, but that doesn't mean they're not there. This is what Jesus said in replying to them about wanting to see more and more signs. He said, when it's evening, you say, sky looks like wine, it's going to be fine. And in the morning, you say, red in the sky, rain by and by. Well, then you know how to work out the look of the sky, so why can't you work out the sign of the times? The generation that wants a sign is wicked and corrupt. No sign will be given it except the sign of Jonah. Now we know what that means now, right? The sign of Jonah, 3 days in the grave. Jesus came out. They didn't know what it meant. They had to look back. Signs, they're all around us. We have to be looking for them, to see them, but sometimes they're all around us. I get goosebumps when I think about the ways that God is at work when I see the evidence that is out there. It just happened to me about a week and a half ago. Matter of fact, Smitty was in the office with me right after it happened. I had texted a friend, Gabe Sogero, who's going to be speaking in chapel a week from this Thursday. And I asked him to come and help be a part of a conversation, this ongoing conversation that we're having on race and justice. I texted him and said, hey, sometime over the next 2 weeks, would love to talk to you about coming to Olivet and helping us with this. And it wasn't 5 seconds later, he called me. And when I told him the conversation that we were having and the desire that we have on this campus for this to be a space and a place that is a better expression of what it means to be people of the kingdom related to the diversity that's here, he said, I'm in, Mark. Count me in. Thursday, October 1st, Gabe Sogero will be here. 5 minutes later, I called Lamorris Crawford, and Lamorris answered the phone. I told Lamorris what we were doing, said I would love for he and Megan to come and help us with this conversation, and he said, Mark, I love Olivet. I want my kids to be there every chance I can get. Yes, Megan and I will be there. Thursday night, October 15th, I get goosebumps on my arms thinking about the ways that God has provided signs for us, about the ways that He's at work here. I've saved my shout out for this moment, for this week. Shout out to our football team. Another sign for the ways that God is at work and active here among us. The football team who led us not in a protest last week, but in a unity prayer walk, this desire that they have as a team for us all to come together, how the athletic department rallied around the football team, walked across our campus, making a statement that we wanted to be one, that we wanted to be unified, that we were in this conversation together, and we were going to stick it out until we were the best expression of the kingdom here, as God would help and enable us to be. So shout out to the football team, Coach Heyman, your coaching staff, your captains, and your team for leading us in this conversation, for Mark and Pierre and Nathan and Jason for sharing your heart with us last week, for being a sign for us that God is at work here. We don't have to wonder. Sometimes we wonder how God is at work, right? We don't have to wonder because we have seen God at work in you. And our prayer is, as Gabe Sogero comes and Lamorris Crawford comes and we continue this conversation throughout this semester, that we will see the signs of the kingdom here at Olivet expressed as it is in heaven. Grace and peace.